2016 has been a season for the ages at Wrigley Field. The best team in baseball, with 7 All-Stars on the roster, which makes it easy to overlook Cubs backup outfielder Matt Szczur.
My role for the team is to come off the bench and do whatever I can to help the team win. And when I get the occasional start, go out there and play hard.
The 27-year-old hit .259 with 5 home runs during his first full season in the majors.
High fly ball into deep left. It's a grand slam! Matt Szczur!
But Szczur's true impact can't be fit in any box score. It's a story that stretches far beyond the friendly confines, to the other side of the planet, and the most unlikely of connections.
When I think back at the whole story from start to finish, it's unbelievable.
Push your pedals, Matt.
Growing up in Cape May, New Jersey, Matt Szczur was a standout in both baseball and football. For college, he chose nearby Villanova University, the one school that would let him play both sports. He walked onto campus in spring of 2007.
I think it's one thing to play 2 sports, but to be the best guy on the football team and be the best player on the baseball team is amazing.
He can do just about anything. He can run the ball, he can throw the ball, he has great hands. I mean, we call him Superman.
He also did this, signed up for the National Bone Marrow Registry.
When you first signed up, what did it mean to you?
To be honest with you, I didn't think I would get called. I mean, it's a 1 in 80,000 chance. It's like a couple cheek swabs, and then you're done. And I didn't think anything after that.
5,000 miles away, near the city of Donetsk in eastern Ukraine, Ivan and Marina Olkovskaya celebrated the arrival of their first child, Anastasia.
Хотя, как переполняла радость, переполняло счастье.
But 3 months after she was born, Anastasia developed a dangerously high fever and was rushed to the hospital.
Я думала, когда вот в этих больнице, казалось, что просто отчаяние уже никогда не выберемся. Я самое больше боялась, мне кажется, даже ночью боялась спать, что просто она закроет глаза и не откроет их.
After 4 weeks and countless doctor's visits, Anastasia was diagnosed with leukemia, cancer of the blood cells and bone marrow.
Врачи сказали, что нужна пересадка, но так как в Украине это не делается, говорят, что смиритесь.
Они сказали, что мы родили другого ребенка, этого оставили. Ой, я прошу прощения.
Desperate, but determined, Anastasia's parents found a clinic in Israel that could provide a life-saving bone marrow transplant if they could find a matching donor. It was the fall of 2009, Szczur's junior season at Villanova. He was leading the Wildcats into the playoffs when he received an unexpected phone call.
She said, "You're a match for bone marrow." And I was like, "Are you serious?" She's like, "Yeah." I was like, "That's awesome." And she asked me if I would do it, and I was like, "Of course I'll do it." And I said, "Just let me know what I have to do."
The timing of the donation would depend on the recipient's condition. At that point, Szczur would need to take powerful drugs to increase his blood stem cell count. But it would also enlarge his spleen, taking him out of sports indefinitely. As the Wildcats marched through the playoffs,
62 yards, and we've got a ball game.
Szczur knew another phone call could end his season.
All right, let's go.
December 18th, 2009, the FCS National Championship game.
This is Caesar. He's got the ball. Caesar, what kind of speed do you have, young fella? Caesar's got it. Caesar left side. Touchdown! Villanova, the champions of Division I football.
Caesar had 270 total yards, 2 touchdowns, and was named the game's most outstanding player. Four months later, Caesar was in the middle of baseball season. The Major League Draft was just 1 month away. That's when the call finally came. On May 4th, 2010, Caesar and his parents were at Hahnemann University Hospital in Philadelphia.
I was tossing and turning last night when I was sleeping. I didn't know what was going to happen, so I was a little nervous.
During a 3-hour procedure, Matt Caesar's healthy bone marrow was removed.
So what did they tell you about the recipient?
They told me that it was a baby girl, and that's it. That's all I knew.
Strict confidentiality policies keep the recipient and donor anonymous for at least 1 year after the procedure. Across the ocean in Israel, Anastasia's parents finally got the news they'd been praying for.
По всему миру нашелся человек, который подошел на 100%, как родной брат-близнец.
Just hours after it was removed from Matt Caesar, the healthy bone marrow was injected into Anastasia Olkovskaya. Even with the transplant, her chances of survival were still just 60%.
Держу на руках и понимаю, что она сейчас уже не живая, не мертвая.
Less than 3 weeks after donating his bone marrow, Matt Caesar was clear to return to baseball.
My body just felt terrible. My bones would hurt, and I felt like every move I made, I felt like I would tear a muscle. I was just that weak.
Back in the batter's box, first inning, first at bat.
And I hit a home run. And when I got back in the dugout, the kids were just like, are you serious right now?
That June, he was drafted by the Chicago Cubs in the 5th round. All the while, the identity and fate of the little girl was still unknown to him.
At what point during the course of your everyday life do you stop and you just think about her?
I do it a lot. If I'm having a bad day, or if I'm down in the dumps, I think about how good my life is compared to somebody who's fighting every day to survive.
On November 19th, 2011, more than 1 year after the donation, Caesar finally received the news he'd been waiting for.
Her first name is, I think it might be, what is that, Anastasia? Anastasia. She's from Ukraine. Wow. I wish I could read the last name. Should I even give it a try? I guess it'd be like someone trying to pronounce our last name.
5 months later, as 3-year-old Anastasia recovered from the transplant in Israel, Matt was finally able to meet her and her parents via Skype.
Hey, how are you guys?
Здрасте.
Сказать, Мэтт, спасибо вам большое. Вы спасли жизнь нашего ребенка. Вы очень хороший человек. Мы не знаем просто, как вас еще можно отблагодарить.
The first time I saw Anastasia, it was unbelievable. She was healthy, she was smiling, she was happy, and it was a great feeling.
Big thank you.
But in the 4 years since that meeting, their paths would once again diverge.
I thought that I would, be in touch at least once every year, but every email I sent got bounced back, and I just couldn't get in contact with her.
As Matt grinded his way through the minors, got married, and finally earned a full-time spot in the majors, Anastasia and her family were facing a new challenge.
overseas tonight into Ukraine now and to an eruption of gunfire.
Crisis in Ukraine, another dramatic escalation over
city after city falling like dominoes.
In the spring of 2014, war broke out across eastern Ukraine, including Anastasia's hometown.
When I heard there was a war going on, I thought that was one of the main reasons why I couldn't get in contact with the family and Anastasia, just because they might have been moving and they might have been trying to get her out of the area and get themselves out of the area.
Once again, for Matt, the fate of Anastasia and her family was a mystery.
Что ты знаешь о Мэте?
Что он мне помог там. А дальше я не помню. А еще, что он хороший человек.
This is Anastasia now. She's 7 years old. She and her parents are back in Israel, now as refugees from the war in Ukraine.
Да, это очень страшно, это ужасно. Никто не мог подумать, что в Украине начнется война.
Там находиться небезопасно, это 100% мы знаем, потому что мы связываемся с родителями, с родственниками, которые там остались. Постоянно идут военные действия. В том городе, где живут мои родители, постоянно теракты, автобусы взрывают или еще что-нибудь. Там ребенку небезопасно.
Whether Anastasia and her parents are allowed to permanently settle in Israel remains uncertain. But Anastasia is healthy, and that's enough. She likes to read, and to swim, and karate. This September, with the Cubs on the cusp of their most anticipated postseason in a generation.
Hey guys, what's going on?
Hello, Matt.
Hi there.
Hello, how are you doing?
Caesar got the opportunity to talk to Anastasia and her family for the first time in 4 years.
Нам мы только недавно рассказали эту историю. Ее очень интересовало, как Мэтт себя чувствует. Она волновалась.
I feel great. The procedure wasn't bad at all. It didn't hurt me. I was down for 3 weeks and was back to playing baseball, and I feel fine. Is she learning to speak English in school?
Yes.
Расскажи о себе немножко.
My name is Anna. I'm a girl. I'm 7
years old.
I'm 7 years old.
Wow, that's amazing. That's really good. It's more than I know in Russian. Can't speak Russian.
Учишь Мэтта говорить по-русски?
Will you teach Matt to speak Russian? She will.
Спасибо.
Great.
Не за что.
I'm gonna bring my wife over so you can meet her. Her name is Natalie.
Есть у него жена.
Hello.
Hi.
It's nice to finally meet you.
And my father's here as well. I'd like you to meet him too.
Hi.
Hi.
Would you show me a karate move? Very nice.
Но в конце
No one's gonna mess with you.
Смотри в камеру.
Он научит меня играть в бейсбол?
Yeah, I will.
Я всегда говорю, это часть нашей жизни. Это не то, что часть нашей жизни. Он подарил, говорю, нам троим, говорю, новую жизнь. Просто этот человек подарил не то, что одному ребенку, а целой семье жизнь.
I just wanted to see her grow and see her be healthy and see her family live a happy life. I'm just blessed to be a part of it, and I'm blessed to have another family.
Thank you very, very much.
Bye, nice day.
Bye.
Bye, we'll be in touch soon.